So don't forget, MajorHater1523.com. How you doing, everybody? My name is Lucifer, spiritual and business consultant, of course. And don't forget, like I said again, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget MajorHater1523.com. You can still listen to my radio. Um, you don't even have to make an account or anything. You can just listen on the front page. You can listen to it anywhere you want, your car, your cell phone, whatever, wherever you want. All right. So your tablet, your whatever. Um, so yeah, the grace that I give you is the grace of Godhood. So a lot of people unfortunately think that because they do light work, that light work is from God. Light work is not from God. Light work is just light work. You're a light being. So it's just normal for you to be capable of doing light things. It has nothing to do with God. God actually does not even care about how good you are at light work. He doesn't even care. It doesn't even matter. It's you're doing all that shit for nothing. All the light work that you're doing, it's not for God. It's because you just know how to do it and you think it's useful to know how to do it. But he doesn't care if you do that shit or not. It doesn't help him out. What helps him out is devotion. He doesn't care about what you're capable of doing or your abilities or your potential. It doesn't matter. What he needs is devotion. The more devotion you give him, the more powerful he becomes. The more powerful he becomes, the more he can do in the actual material world. He's a fucking tyrant. Some people are okay with that. Some people don't mind. Some people know and they don't mind. Because they have no soul. They have no spirit. They don't feel anything. They can't feel the music. They can't feel the vibe. They can't feel it. It's not in them. They can't feel it. They can't hear anything. I'm hearing music right now. I'm in the club right now, dude. Bumping. Drinking shots and all kinds of shit. But people don't feel that. People don't feel that. They don't feel it. They don't smell it. They can't touch it. And the reason why they can't touch, they can't feel, they have a nose but they can't smell, they have a tongue but they can't taste, they have fingers but they can't touch, they have eyes but they can't see, is because none of those shits, they signed a licensed agreement, just like the little video games you play on your tablets or your cell phones. Just like the games I play on my cell phone or my console. There's not one game that you can play without license agreement nowadays. That's the same thing you do with God, man. No puns intended. I had a good time with a lady, and she believes in God. And that's why I said no pun intended, because she was showing me, games on the tablet. Like she spent a bunch of money on, So, but I had a good time with her. The thing is, she knows that I'm the contrary of God, but it doesn't bother her that much. It doesn't really bother her that much. She doesn't. She barely cares, and it's good. It's good. She's on the right track. She's on the right track. But it's not easy. It's not easy. And God is a tyrant. He will try to scare you into submission. He will try. He won't succeed, but he'll try. Because the human spirit is more powerful than you think. The human spirit is way more powerful than you think. The human mind, the human consciousness is way more powerful than you think. You are a living God. I am a living God. The reason for that is I believe in myself. Cold and soul heartedly, entirely. I don't believe in relinquishing any of my abilities or powers to any unknown entity. Whether it's a business entity or a fucking alien, I don't care. I don't see what the purpose of doing that is. At least if the person explained to me correctly why I would do that, that's a different thing. I would probably consider it. But since that hasn't happened, and I don't think it's ever going to happen, I will not and shall not give up any of my abilities, power, strength, knowledge, intelligence, intellect, capabilities to any entity that is unknown to me in this universe and the one after this one. So I was speaking to my inner self the other day, and I was feeling a little bit demotivated. And I asked my entity, bruh, am I going to be a big billionaire like you, man? Because I wanted to talk to my rich self, because you have a self in every aspect of of society spectrum. There's a poor you, there's a rich you, there's a popular you, there's a less popular you, there's a gangster you, there's a normal you, there's a whatever, right? So I was talking to him and I asked him, am I going to be a big billionaire like you? You know what he told me? He told me the only difference between you and me is that I like gold. I was like, okay, I see you. I feel you. Okay, got you. 10-4. 10-4. The only difference between you and me is that I like gold. And I know it's true because there once was a time when I did like gold. But then something happened. I started to have a sort of shift where I became a knight of Silver Moon Lance. And because I'm a knight of Silver Moon Lance, I started to wear silver instead of gold. The funny part is, silver is starting to become rare because somebody bought all the silver, and apparently there's not a lot of silver left in the world. So we're actually in a drought of silver. So I don't know if I should revert back to gold, but I am too much of a Silver Moon Lance to go back to gold. So I'm just gonna take it as it is. I'll take the message, and that's good enough for me. And the reason why I'm saying that is because people still think in 2021, we're about to be 2022, with everything and all the knowledge that's out right now, with everything that I'm saying, People are still fighting. People are still reluctant to think that there are certain things in the world that are not spiritual. There's certain things in the world that are not spiritual. Like what? Everything is spiritual, man. Everything is spiritual, man. You can't escape spirituality, man. There's some people that close their eyes. That doesn't mean they're escaping spirituality, man. They just close their eyes. They're still living the things. They're still seeing things. It's just they close their eyes. That's all it is. Doesn't mean they don't see it. Doesn't mean they don't feel it. They just don't want to know about it. So no, I'm not a aboriginal. I'm not a indigenous person. I'm a scientist. I am a Kryptonian. I'm not someone that lives in the woods. I love nature. I respect nature. I don't mind going in nature. I don't mind spending time in nature. But I am a God. I am an all-knowing creator. And what I create is utopian universes. I don't live in the wood. I create utopian universes. I create paradises. That's what it means to be a god. Being a god does not mean being naked in the middle of the woods. Being a god is being able to create a planet, a universe, a city, a beautiful city, Wakanda, Atlantis, Mayan city of gold, Aztec city of gold. That's what it means to be a god. When you are a god, you create. So even if you feel like going in the woods and going off grid and not caring about all these things, if you keep going the way you're going, and if you have a high level of understanding, at some point you're going to start to create things. It's going to start with your cabin. And then you're going to be like, you know what, this cabin could use a couple more things. And then you're going to start creating those things. And then you're going to start building and building and building and building and building. And people are probably going to join you at some point. You're going to have like, you're going to create some spirits. You're going to create some spirits. You're going to create some angels. You're going to create angels. You're going to create demons and angels. And they're going to come help you. They're going to start building shit with you. And then you're going to end up right back where you started. In the metropolis. A beautiful, bustling, magnificent metropolis. So anyway, this video is too damn long. My name is Lucifer. I'm gonna go drink some coffee. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.